Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you're all awesome out there. I want to thank you for stopping by the channel. As always, you guys are all fantastic. If this is your first time to the Silver Screen Analysis, I want to welcome you. I hope you enjoy what you hear. Decide to stick around and come back for more reviews in the future. But today, we're talking about a movie that did make the rounds on the film festival circuit at the end of last year. That's now getting its U.S. release. It's called Dragged Across Concrete, directed by S. Craig Zahler. The film stars Vince Vaughn and Mel Gibson as a couple of cops that get caught using excessive force during a routine bust. The video ends up going public. They get suspended and turn to the criminal world to get some compensation for their years of hard work. Now, to say I was simply excited for this movie would be a mild understatement. I love crime dramas. Slow burn storylines are never a deal breaker for me. I was also very curious about the pairing of Vaughn and Gibson, particularly by placing them in a story of this tone. Added on top of all that was the appeal of S. Craig Zahler, writing and directing, who also did movies like Brawl on Cell Block 99 and Bone Tomahawk, which were two movies that I absolutely loved. I thought all the pieces were in place for this one to create a tense home run of a violent crime drama, but unfortunately, while I enjoyed large sections of the movie, overall the package was just kind of a big letdown. Now, don't get me wrong, this was not a horrible movie by any means, but right off the bat, I have to say it was entirely too long at over 2.5 hours. It has the runtime of a Tarantino epic or a Scorsese crime film, but was missing the story layers to substantiate it. There was just one scene after the other with Vaughn and Gibson talking to each other in the car. The problem was, for the bulk of it, the dialogue felt repetitive and without a ton of substance to the conversations. Once all the traits of their personalities are learned, there just doesn't seem to be the need for so many more other scenes later in the movie that just have instances of banter between them in the car. I do think that early on, the writing did a great job of capturing the relationship between them and the history that they had together, but it just doesn't go much further from there over the last couple hours of the storyline, despite some splashes of natural chemistry between Vaughn and Gibson that I really enjoyed. I felt the potential with these two guys being paired up on screen in a story like this were endless, but not nearly capitalized on. I could feel the sense of it wanting to be a slow-burning crime drama with splashes of tension and suspense being the intention. I could feel the focus on being that of a methodical progression to things, but with surface-level depth to many of the plot lines and story layers, it just ended up feeling mundane and very monotonous with such a long runtime. I mean, I was maximum level excited to sit down and see this movie, but it was sadly tough to sit through, and I think there were certainly some story dynamics here that I enjoyed, but they just weren't explored enough in as much detail as they could have been, and there was just too much filler throughout the movie that would routinely kill any intensity it would create. I don't think the performances were bad, but they were sadly just serviceable. I don't think Vaughn was able to disappear into this role like he did back in Brawl on Cell Block 99. Gibson felt very much like Mel Gibson. I don't think the material really helped them a lot. I think their personalities just naturally worked for the needs of the character types, but I don't think they were able to carry so many routine minutes of idle chit-chat on stakeouts. I do, though, think that when the pace picks up, the energy of the film picks up immediately as well. It just doesn't maintain itself. It's something that after a couple hours was starting to get kind of frustrating to me. I did, though, enjoy the third act. It really ramps up the action a bit. I enjoyed the subtle, dry sense of humor that was being passed back and forth between Gibson and Vaughn. Also, like I said, inside of this script, I really enjoyed the story that was there. It just really needed a lot of condensing to be able to keep the intrigue and the entertainment level up. Once the action ramps up and the violence hits, I enjoyed most of it, but it was sort of a mixed bag for me. Gratuitous violence is a Zahler trait that hasn't always worked for me in the past. It isn't the level of gore he captures that misses the mark with me as much as it is the timing of it and the visual delivery of the material at times. There's a scene in this movie that could have easily been very emotionally gripping and just grabbed at the heartstrings, but with a massive dose of violence and some practical effects that don't back it up visually, the final result was a potentially gripping scene that felt unintentionally comical, and there were a couple other instances similar to this that did pull me out of things slightly, and they were issues that I never really noticed in the past Zahler films. But I would have to say, other than those few moments, the rest of the action as a whole and the gunplay, when there was some, was very gritty. It was very well crafted and very adrenaline pumping. Overall, though, I just can't help but feel this was a missed chance at a potential winner. I like a slow pace, but for me, this one was just way too slow for what it was providing me story-wise. I was hoping for something a little bit meatier to sink my teeth into. I think some people will enjoy it, but I was hoping for something a little bit different, and I sadly have to give Dragged Across concrete, 65% on the entertainment meter. I did enjoy some of what Vaughn and Gibson accomplished in these roles, but the material was just hindering them greatly. The story layers that were here, I thought were very intriguing, and if had all this filler been removed and the story had been tightened up a bit, I think it would have been a much different film, and one that would be much more viewer friendly to a wider audience. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.